must have flown. Hell is frozen over. The Saints are on their way to the Super Bowl.
43, game on the line. Williams lofting one for a doozy. He caught
it! You're listening to the world's #1 football podcast. Now, here are your hosts, Ben Hansen, Matt Hartman, and Ryan Matthews.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Pigskin Project, episode 182, right after the trade deadline. Welcome back. I guess Matt's been demoted here. Let me move him back here. So how's everybody doing? I hope everybody had a happy Halloween. I hope everybody's been tuned in to the College Corner as well, because we had our first college football playoff rankings this week, literally just last night. So I hope that you guys have tuned into that, because the boys are going to be covering that some more, I'm sure. But there's a lot of news to cover today. And without further ado, because Lord knows we're going to be talking a minute for this, Matt, how are we feeling today?
Exciting times on the Pigskin Project YouTube channel. We talked about this last night, but the views are spiking, guys. You are interacting with our content. This is great. Throw the hands out there. But yeah, and then also, I mean, we got a good trade deadline, guys. All right, we don't have to spend 30 minutes talking about Logan Wilson and Jacoby Myers. We could do it. I bet we could, but we don't have to.
Yeah. I'm just excited that it's a good trade deadline, and it's not like something like last year, and that like one shocking move, two kind of shocking moves, both from the same team. We'll get into it.
One I'll never forget was the Odell one. Remember the Odell one? And he just ended up getting like cut or something.
Yeah.
Well, we talked about it in the first deal that we'll talk about today. I think is a contender for best trade deadline deal, I guess, in terms of overall excitement, right? Surrounding it. Since 2022, when CMC got dealt to the 49ers. So crazy stuff. And I don't want to say of all time, but I think that it's an all-timer trade. But before we dive into it, Matt, what's the layout look like today, man? What are we thinking? What are we feeling?
The show rundown, obviously, will hit on any looming thoughts of Monday Night Football, which, if there are any, I'd be kind of surprised. And then we'll go through the injury report, get into the trade deadline reactions that we just talked about, some games of the week. Once again, Thursday Night Football +2 this week, and then some pick 'em and payout, and we'll get on out of here. So if we are all ready to roll in, let's roll right in. Monday Night Football, the Cardinals defeated the Cowboys, and it was more a show of, I mean, if anybody saw this game with the YouTube TV and ESPN, but it was more of a show from Jerry Jones talking about how looming his moves, ominously talking about how it's coming, guys. We're gonna do something.
It's a move I could make.
Yeah, and then Logan Wilson is traded at like 6:00 in the morning. He's like, "We're gonna trade for a white guy on the Bengals," and everyone, whoa, dude. And then he got Logan Wilson, who was benched a few weeks ago. So he got a benched linebacker. So, and then obviously we'll talk about what happened later. But
and
for the most part,
who's to say that other deal that we'll talk about later wasn't the one that he was thinking about doing? It could have very much been on the table.
No.
It could have been on the table.
Jones. This is Jerry Jones we're talking about. He was definitely teasing the Logan Wilson trade. Come on, you're giving Jerry Jones too much credit here.
Yeah, but
it's coming from an Eagles fan.
It was again, Jacoby Brissett stands out, makes the Cardinals passing game look like a plus, and as a result of that, today Kyler Murray was placed on IR. So do with that if you will. But gentlemen, do we have any looming thoughts from this game? I feel like this game doesn't have any playoff implications, doesn't have any real dramatic implications, but it was a football game that happened in an island spot, so everybody was watching.
It did happen. I mean, this is one of those games again that like really shows you like, wow, there were major needs and major changes that had to happen on the Cowboys side of the ball. It was some of the worst defense I've ever seen in my entire life. And then again, you contribute to that, like, oh, they can win games if they're putting up a whole lot of points. It's like, sure, you can do that, but it's hard to put up a whole lot of points when you're fumbling the football every single time you step foot on the football field, which has made it 10 times worse. But it, like, I wonder if this game in particular was like the catalyst that pushed Jerry Jones to make that big trade that he did that we'll get into in a second. And I'm wondering if something like this, like if this game didn't happen, I wonder if he would have made that big trade to begin with, because it was just that bad of a defensive game for them.
It makes me curious to see what's going on with the whole Kyler situation right now, because this offense is becoming more efficient with Jacoby Brissett. It was something that was a topic of discussion towards the end of Monday Night Football in that broadcast. And overall, it is something worth noting. I don't know if this is necessarily a long-term option anymore for the Cardinals. And I mean, you can kind of think of that way of several teams in the league. We're going to get some kind of quarterback carousel as we do every single year. Dolphins with Tua as well. You kind of think about whether or not, like, because I think that you guys would both agree Kyler Murray is a starting level quarterback. It's not like he'll be a backup, but it's more a matter of, are they going to move on from him already just because they saw a couple good games out of Jacoby Brissett, or is this a decision that will be asked upon for years? And, I don't think that we'll get an answer for that for months, but it's worth noting that this is the point in time in which it's coming up. And honestly, I don't think I would have considered that to be a possibility at the beginning of the season. So it's interesting.
Yeah, his limitations as a passer are just so real, and they've been real forever. And then you put in a guy like Jacoby Brissett, who's 6'4" and is just a tank, and all he does is rip the dig. It's just it's glaring. And so, yeah, I think, I don't know. I who would be buying? Who would buy Kyler Murray? Maybe that's a topic for a different show, not this one with the trade deadline. We move on to the injury report. Just some major injuries that happened over the course of Sunday. Tucker Kraft, the Packers tight end, tore his ACL. Oh, deep sigh for me. Commanders quarterback Jaden Daniels dislocated his elbow in a game that was decided by like 30 points. So a lot of people are very upset about him being in the game. What did anybody have thoughts on that? Were you guys like stunned that he was in the game? I wasn't really stunned. I didn't like that they were running him.
I put it in the group chat. He shouldn't have been in there. He was down 31 points. I mean, it's late in the fourth quarter. There's no point for this. It's in the middle of the season, and your team, I would say, is still in the hunt. And now you just completely took yourself out because, I mean, unfortunately, these things happen. They're a part of the game, and it is a little bit frustrating for sure, especially given the fact that he's already been dealing with injuries so far this season. Also, side note, really quick, Ben, before cutting you off for a third time, how about this field in all of its injury history? Can we talk about that for half a second and just say, like, is it on par with MetLife almost? Because this is really bad. Like, I don't know.
I see what you're saying in terms of the field. That being said, you can't contribute this injury to like the playing surface being. It was just like a freak.
Stadium's cursed, man. All I gotta say, just build the new one.
Yes. Well, and they're trying to. That's for sure. I obviously I can't speak for how Ryan felt in the moment, but I think people complaining that he's out there is really revisionist history. Because I didn't see a single person before the injury saying, well, what is he doing out there? Why is he still out there? It was only after the fact that he had gotten hurt where people were like, well, clearly you should have taken him out. Again, the outcome, it's tough saying this because the outcome that had happened, but I didn't mind him being out there. This is a guy that, again, who has been injured. I understand your team was down and you weren't going to win that game, but he was hurt. Get him some snaps. See what's going to happen because he hasn't played a whole lot this season. So I don't blame them for them just like trying to get him back into the flow of the offense, have him kind of operate with short clock and have him get a feel of the offense. And again, it's easy now to turn around and say like he shouldn't have been out there, but in the moment, I didn't think it was an awful decision. I absolutely understand why he was out there considering he hasn't played that much this season.
Yeah, I don't stray on either side. It's just these guys are going to play till the end if they can, and yeah, at the same time, yeah, it's a major bummer. Jaden Daniels is hurt again, and then we get into Joe Alt. He is out for the season. The Chargers left tackle for the season with an ankle injury. Another roll up, like another just unlucky, like it happens with these linemen. So he is out for the season with an ankle injury.
Fine though. They got their savior, and we're about to talk about it. It's gonna be totally fine.
He is not good. The Texans quarterback C.J. Stroud, he left and did not return with a concussion. The status is unknown with the protocol. He did not practice on Wednesday, so we'll see if they got a big game against the Jaguars this weekend because that can kind of push them back into the division race. So we'll see his status more closer to game time. I would stray on the side of they probably hold him out for this one. They probably take a little week. And then the 49ers, they just cannot stop, can they? Their first round pick edge rusher, Mykel Williams, is now out for the season with a torn ACL, in which this happened like super late in the game. Ben told me about this on the recap show. Like I didn't even realize this had happened until we were doing the show. So that's one of those bummers that, again, like it's the nature of the game and going full speed all the time. It happens. And then lastly, we mentioned Kyler Murray, so I don't need to mention it again, him going to IR. But that's all for the injury report this week. And so, gentlemen, we turn over to the trade deadline and all that it brought us on a beautiful Tuesday yesterday. Yep.
I'm so sorry. Yeah. Before we dive into it, I just want to say a couple things really quick after the injury report, because there was a team that, definitely was in the midst of a lot of different trade discussions, and I'm not seeing them anywhere on our trade deadline deals notes, and that's because they didn't make a move, and it surprises me. That team being the 49ers, and given that Mykel Williams had gotten hurt, they're still in play for their division, like very much, and they still are very much in play for a playoff berth. As a Bears fan, looking at the end of the schedule, looking at that game, like that one might have playoff implications. They are a team that is staying competitive for the season. So, with that being said, not buying into that is a little weird to me, just because like you can go on and, make the playoffs and potentially go on that run, no matter who's at quarterback, apparently. And I understand maybe not buying into that because of that. You don't know if you're a Super Bowl caliber team or not. However, I could almost always make the argument that nobody thought the Commanders were a Super Bowl caliber team last year, and they made it all the way to the NFC Championship. So it's literally, this season has been the definition of any given Sunday, anything could happen. And I guess with this talented of a roster, whether they're hurt or not, being that heavily involved in trade discussions, I'm surprised that they didn't land anybody, whether it was depth or an actual star. Again, not saying that it would necessarily be a good move to do this. I don't consider them Super Bowl contenders, but saying that they were heavily involved, and I'm just surprised that we don't see their name today.
I think it was good for them to not do that. Again, there's just so many injuries don't waste talent, don't waste picks to trade away for a season that in all intents and purposes is just going to be lost because of the
Yeah.
injuries. Like if it was fully healthy and you felt like they were 1 to 2 pieces away, sure. But again, with all of the injuries that they've suffered, I think it was probably smart of them to not buy at the deadline. That being said, the other team that I'm shocked didn't make any moves was the Steelers. They were the team that I was really shocked didn't make any moves because at least as of right now, I mean, regardless of what we think of them, they have been winning games and they kind of look like they might be able to give some teams some trouble. I mean, just like they did with the Colts this past weekend. I'm shocked that they didn't make any moves at the deadline to at least try to bump themselves up a tier. But you know, it is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, for the Niners' point, I think even if Bosa was out and Fred Warner was still playing, I would have justified anything because I think that guy is just so good. And putting him on the field, I think would. But with both of them out, it sucks to say a 6-3 season like is probably a lost season, but it is. I mean, you're gonna piece together this defense. They don't have an outstanding amount of picks. That's what I was looking up here. Like say you you think about Cincinnati with Hendrickson. That was the biggest one, right? And even were they mentioned in Jermaine Johnson sweepstakes? Like I feel like I saw their name. That would have been the 54th pick, like their second. And if they don't make the playoff, that becomes what 45. The 45th pick. I don't want to give that up right now. But we move on to deadline reactions that actually happened. Obviously, the big one, the Jets trade Sauce Gardner to the Indianapolis Colts for 2 first-round picks, and not mentioned here, Adonai Mitchell, the former second-round receiver from a year and a half ago. So Jets make out with a pretty good haul here, but it's all about the Colts getting a lockdown corner after an offseason where they sign Cam Bynum at safety for one of the richest AAVs of any safety in free agency. They sign Trevarius Ward for one of the most expensive corner contracts in all of free agency, and now they're bringing on Sauce, where they're taking on most of his money. What is it? I think after this season, his cap value goes up over 20. So this is a very expensive defense now, and this is an expensive trade capital haul. But, gentlemen, what were your first thoughts on this one?
Absolutely stunned. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. I did not anticipate this whatsoever. Sauce Gardner, I mean, I would say that if it were any other team but the Jets, like, you would consider him like one of those guys. Almost like, and I know this is a football podcast, but we'll compare him to the Luka trade, to where it's like, I didn't think that guy was touchable, but like,
no, now, it's not the Luka.
I'm not saying quite. I'm saying because it's the Jets, right? I understand it. They're building on their future, and I mean they've been rebuilding for years now, but more so. If it were anybody else that were trading this caliber of a player, I would have been like, whoa. But understanding the Jets and where they're headed, and honestly, I mean, we'll get to it, but the fire sale that they've completed, I understand it. It's just not a name that I anticipated to be available whatsoever. And 2 first-round picks is rich in the middle of the season to be given up. And it's really interesting. But it's all a matter of where you think the Colts are going to be within those next couple of years. And right now, they're tied for the best record in the league. And if they can make a push to the Super Bowl, that's almost a second-round pick. You know what I mean? And who's to say that they don't make another push, maybe a divisional round playoff loss next year? You know what I mean? Again, another late first-round pick. So it's like, it's not like the Colts are going to be contenders for a top 10 pick. This is more so back in first if this is where they're headed. But again, I think this is something that I mentioned in the group chat between us three after it happened, was what are we doing with Daniel Jones after the season? Because he signed a
Signing him.
1-year deal.
Yeah, you're saying
And you would imagine so, right? But given the caliber of player that he's, performed as this season, excluding, I would say, this past week, this is a guy that's probably going to be looking for a, decent sized contract from a team that's QB needy. And Indianapolis would be one of those teams. And it's like, would you give him a monstrous deal like they're being handed out right now? Because as of right now, it's Daniel Jones, and I don't feel comfortable investing that much of my future into him. And that's exactly what the Colts are saying that they're going to do. Those questions come up in my mind. That's really it. But it's going to be fun. I'm really excited to see what this team can do throughout this specific season in riding out the high of Daniel Jones and how good Jonathan Taylor has been. To be able to back that up on the defensive end as well is intriguing. And honestly, I'm pretty sure the viewers know this. I mean, we go to the combine every year. So living close enough to Indianapolis, despite the fact that none of us are Colts fans, you can't help but root for them, right? I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's cool. I'm excited. Ben, what do you got?
I was absolutely shocked that Sauce Gardner was traded. He was just a name that not a single person had even talked about. There wasn't a rumor out there that Sauce Gardner was even on the market. But that's one of those things that regardless of how you think of Sauce Gardner, because there's a wide range of how people think about him, especially considering how his play has been this year. From the Jets standpoint of it all, if you're offered 2 first-round picks for him, you absolutely take it. There's no question about it. You say, absolutely take it. I'll take your 2 first-round picks. And I don't – it's rich for sure, but I understand the move. We had talked about the Colts, and we said, well, they need to make a move at corner. Tyreek Woolen was the guy that I had mocked, but there's obviously tiers levels to all of this. And I don't think anyone, again, thought that they were going to make a move as big as what this is. And then to your point, Ryan, in terms of Daniel Jones, and we'll get into it more as the offseason starts and whatnot, I would expect – I don't think he's going to get this monstrous contract. I would probably expect it to be something close to what Sam Darnold is getting. For those who don't know those numbers off the top of their head, Sam Darnold is on a 3-year, $100 million contract, so about $33 million AAV. I'd imagine it's probably just a little bit lower just because of sample size. We were able to see it a little bit longer for Sam Darnold, but who knows? But that's probably what I'd imagine with Daniel Jones, because all signs are pointing to them saying, you're our guy.
This is our guy.
And obviously they feel comfortable saying you're our guy because they traded away 2 first-round picks, and they thought that this move was going to be the move to set them above the teams that we had talked about. That's something that me and Matt had mentioned. What team is going to make this kind of talent level swing to put them above the rest? And the Colts felt like this is that move. And they went out and they made it. And again, we'll get into the ramifications a little bit later in terms of the Jets after we talk about this next trade.
Yeah, I want to focus on this really quick and just say, I don't want to focus on the quarterback too much. That's obviously a conversation for another episode. But, just knowing that the Colts are willing to invest that much into the team that they currently have right now says a lot compared to where they've been for the last 3 or 4 years. So, Matt, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I mean, Ben hit it on the head. The Jones part of this is he's going to get a market inflation of what Geno signed a few years ago, of then what Baker signed a few years ago, to what Sam Darnold signed this past year. That's just what happens. It's the mid-tier quarterback extension. But it is interesting to see a team go all in because they have Daniel Jones at quarterback. It's still weird to think about, and it's still one of those things that is looming in my head that did you pay a lot to win the AFC South, win 11 games, and all of a sudden now you have to face Kansas City or Denver at home in the playoffs in round 1? That is still a realistic plausibility on the table for this team, and you still feel outmatched. If this team doesn't win and make a conference championship, this trade effectively feels like a failure, right? So
Yeah.
again, I think this is just a massive swing for a team that doesn't make massive swings. The last time they've traded a first round pick was DeForest Buckner in 2020. So you just think about how long it's been since they've made something like this. And to Ryan's point, like they haven't been had an opportunity to take a risk like this. And but it's again, I think this is a talented player. It's a volatile position, and I think the Jets were in a place that no player on their roster was worth 2 first-round picks. So when you get that call from a team desperate enough, and even it's not even like Kansas City or Baltimore, where it's like, we know what this team is. They're a proven commodity. They're going to be in the Final Four in the AFC. Like, they just have the the superhero quarterback. No, it's Indy, who is still relatively new in all of this. So I'm really fascinated to see how Indy goes from here. Again, we teased it. We'll talk about the Jets in a minute as a holistic view because of our next trade. If anybody has anything left on this one, we'll swing into the next one.
I just want to add one thing really quick.
Mm-hmm.
When you throw 2 first-round picks at somebody, i.e., reportedly,
you think they complete your team.
Exactly. Yeah. And I just want to ask you guys just this one question and just give me a yes or no because we got to move on. Do you think prior to this trade, the Colts were 1 player off of a potential Super Bowl berth?
I say no. I thought they were awesome. I think they've been awesome this year. They've been the best team in football this year. But at the same time, like we've seen,
you don't want to put them against Mahomes, right?
Yeah, it doesn't even matter in the regular season.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Josh Allen's beaten Mahomes 5 times in the regular season. So it's like, I get that's lazy analysis. I get it's annoying to be just like, well, this 18 game sample size doesn't really matter. But we've seen too many times. It doesn't. It really doesn't.
Yeah.
So
I'm looking forward to it, seeing how it goes. Yeah. What's next up? Because the Jets have another big time player that they put on the move.
Next trade, the Cowboys acquire Quinnen Williams, the interior defensive lineman, for a 2026 second-round pick and a 2027 first-round pick. So the Cowboys end up keeping both of their 2026 first-round picks this season with the Micah Parsons trade getting from the Packers. And that 2027 pick has a caveat of whichever one's better goes to the Jets. So the Jets are getting effectively like that NBA pick swap, the swap best kind of thing. So, and then also Mozzie Smith is in this deal. That happened. So good for the Cowboys to not have him on the team anymore. But guys, what do we have on this one?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and just say, just because I don't want to hit too much on it. Quinnen Williams has been one of my favorite players in the NFL since he was drafted, right? Ever since the bless me, thank you kind of video. That guy just, I think, is a very underrated defensive tackle. Mm-hmm. He kind of flies under the radar because he played for the Jets. And my one catch up when it comes to the Cowboys and trading for Quinnen Williams, great move. Congratulations. You still don't have anybody in coverage. So that's my catch up. Ben, what do you got?
Yeah, again, Quinnen Williams is a great player and there's nothing against him. I hate it for the Cowboys. Again, it goes back to kind of the whole Sauce Gardner of it all. I don't think this season is a wash. And I hate to say that 9 games in because stuff could absolutely change. And maybe Quinnen Williams is the catalyst to change that. So I don't want to completely outright say that they're done because you never know, if a team catches fire at the right time. But I just don't feel like this season was the right time for them to go and make a trade for this, especially considering that you could have just paid Micah and saved yourself the headache of all of it. But different position, all of that stuff. And I like Quinnen, but I also think he gave up a lot for him. And I'm just interested to see the long-term ramifications of it as well, because they didn't want to pay Micah a huge long-term contract, but in 2 years, you're going to have to pay Quinnen a huge long-term contract. So again, that's a conversation 2 years down the road from now. but I'm just interested to see what the long-term plan and totality is for the Cowboys, and more specifically this defense.
Investing in a Matt Eberflus defense that you decided not to put Micah Parsons on is just hilarious to me. Matt, didn't mean to cut you off, bro.
Yeah, I'm gonna Zach. I think this is good. I like that they made this move now, in terms of waiting, because you just think about, like, they're 35 over the cap right now. They can restructure those big three, and I'm talking Dak, CD, and Quinnen. They'd be over $30 million. So if I think this is pushing the chips in with the allocated resources they still have, like pretty good resources. And so this didn't cripple them in a way. Like, there's been so much talk about, would you just rather have Micah Parsons? I think we all would. I don't think we have to like spend too much time on the Micah Parsons part of this anymore. Like, that part is sailed, and whether Jerry is right or wrong, like, that continues to be seen. But I think this is them pushing the chips in on the table on 2027 and even 28 to a degree, because they're going to make both of those picks this year, or they're going to trade one of them for another star level player like Quinnen Williams. So again, with the money they get in free agency, you can kind of fill out the roster. I think they have the star talent. They have the quarterback. Like, that's my point with the Cowboys. Why I'm never going to stop believing. It's just, I think they have a pretty fine roster. It's just filling out the back end is going to be their major part of their offseason. And what if they just throw 2 first-round picks at it? Like, that could also, like, possibly work. So you saw the Eagles do it, and it worked. So it's fascinating to see where they go from here. They still have many steps to take, but I like investing in the quarterback and the receiver combo that they have. And yeah.
The receiver combo is the one thing I want to hit on, and I know I said it already, but Pickens is a free agent after this. So, like, please understand.
He's been tagged yesterday.
Yeah. So, we'll see how that all goes, because that's just a holdout that's just bound to happen, right? But we'll see. I'm excited to see how that pans out as well, but I'm with you. Let's see. Yeah, so you want to talk about the Jets now? Because the Jets, talk about the future, man. They got a haul. Matt, thanks for pulling it up here. They've got 2 first-round picks in 2026, and then 2 second-round picks in 2026, as well as 3 first-round picks in 2027. Now, guys, as a casual college football fan, fill us in, right? 2027, how's that quarterback class looking? Because that's the first thing on my mind.
We play quarterback classes by ear now with all the transfer portal stuff, brother.
Yeah. Yes, amen to that. But no, I think they've done, again, I think making these 2 trades for the Jets side of it was a very smart move, because they're 2 great players, but obviously those 2 players aren't impacting your ability and raising your floor to win outright. Obviously, they've won 1 game this year. So for them to be able to get out what they did from those players, to now set yourself up for the future to have 5 first-round picks over the next 2 years is huge. And that is a way for you to actively be able to get yourself out of what has been a 25-year rebuild for the Jets. And hopefully 5 first-round picks can set you up. And you don't have to use all 5 of those picks. If you feel you use your picks in 2026 and feel like you're getting yourself in a good position, just as Matt had said with the Cowboys, you can maybe trade away 1 or 2 of those picks in 2027 to then get a player that can hopefully get you even set more on the path. That being said, picks, to use kind of that basketball analogy again, they have to be used in the right way, because you can be the OKC of it all and play it very, very well and set yourself up for a championship, or you can be the Nets with 5 first-round picks and still have absolutely no one to build off of. So I'm just interested to see what they do in the future, but I think on paper they have set themselves up for hopefully what is a very quick turnaround turnaround to the rebuild. And again, I say that cautiously because it's been a 25-year rebuild, but hopefully this puts an end to that.
Yeah, if only there was circumstance of like a team having 3 first-round picks in a single draft and hitting on all of them. Oh wait, the Jets did that, and I always think back like you have you have a devil and an angel on your shoulder. You could either be the 2022 Jets and find a way to get Sauce, Garrett Wilson, and Jermaine Johnson, even Breece Hall early in the second round. Like all of those guys are impactful players and like cornerstone level players when they are fully healthy, or you could be the 2020 Dolphins, like where it's Austin Jackson and Tua, and you're just thinking back to that Noah Igbenogany. Man, thought that one would work, but you just think about all of these repercussions of it all, and I hate to be like Mr. Bland and boring, but it's like you better hit on the picks. Like we can all love the picks right now. It's not Madden. And we have no circumstance with this group in charge. Like Aaron Glenn, is Aaron Glenn making the 2027 picks if it continues to go this way? I don't know, because his whole the whole structure is following with Campbell and setting a culture, and it feels like there's so much finger pointing with this team already. So I'm like, it doesn't feel like everybody's on the same page. Everybody's clearly not on the same page because trading away 2 very, very impactful defensive players. I'm just interested to see how this rolls with the Jets because we have, like you said, 25 years of it not going right, even if like the turnover of coach and quarterback and GM continues to, turn and turn. But I'll leave this all with Fernando Mendoza is good. It doesn't matter at all. Like that's kind of where we're at.
Huge.
Yeah, the one thing I want to mention
Patriots.
too.
Look at the Patriots. I hate their rebuild. Drake May's good. Doesn't matter.
Drake May's good.
So right now, keep in mind, Breece Hall, there was rumors that he had, asked for a trade about an hour before the trade deadline
Too late, buddy.
Had approached, which exactly I was just about to say, like, great job, but here's the thing. It's not like they drafted him in the first round. They don't have a 5th-year option to use on the guy. So it becomes an unrestricted free agent following the season. And yes, they can franchise tag him after the season if they want. But it would cost them over $14 million for the 2026 season. So it's something to kind of note. I wonder if there's a team that would want to pay him that kind of money. But honestly, it's like because their asking price was a 3rd-round pick for Breece. And I don't think that that's necessarily a bad asking price, except for the fact that when you realize that he is an unrestricted free agent and, there are teams out there that would like his services this season, but also don't know if he's willing to sign an extension there. The Chiefs, for example, was like, hey, I'll send you a 4th-round pick right now for him. And they were like really staying pat on the fact that they wanted a 3rd out of him. So with that being said, there's going to be players for Breece. It's all a matter of is the asking price going to be met, or is this something to where it'll kind of fizzle out and maybe he just walks somewhere else? It's going to be interesting.
I mean, if they do decide long term that like, hey, we're in a position to draft Fernando Mendoza and really get this offense turned around with a good quarterback, they have all the cap space in the world. I mean, as of right now, they're projected $116 million in cap space in this free agency. So if they wanted to turn around and say, here is a 3-year, $45 million contract, not that I think that would be a great idea, but if they wanted to turn around and say, that's what we think you are, and we're going to pay the Jets tax to keep you on this team, they absolutely could. And I think that's probably where their mind is at, that like, they're just trying to play the middle ground, that like, we're going to push this, down the road a little bit, and we'll either sign you to a long-term contract or maybe get a comp pick out of it. it's always tough to have the comp pick discussion when you're talking about a team with $116 million in cap space, because I don't think you'll probably be able to receive one with that much cap space, but that's besides the point. I think, again, this was just a way for them to push the can down the hall,
Down the
per
road.
se.
Yeah. Oh, down the hall. All right, Matt, what we got? What we got next?
Yeah. All right. We'll move on to my team. The New Orleans Saints traded Rashid Shaheed to the Seattle Seahawks. Got a 4th-round pick this year and a 5th-round pick this year. Equates out to about a 3rd-round pick. So I was really excited about this one. This was something that I kind of mentioned in passing. I would enjoy Shaheed on this football team just as a, taking the lid off the defense. Because right now, the guy who, is running down the field and making those plays on the Sunday night game was, you think about, Cody White. And even like JSN is still like a major piece in throwing down the field. And JSN as a theory is so much better working in the intermediate part of the field and creating yak. So getting a true, like, I was thinking about it, like top 5 vertical threats in all of football. Like that's real deal stuff for an offense that already is like number 1 in most passing metrics. So again, a lot of people were like, well, why are they doing this? Like they're already really, really good. Just gives you more options to be explosive, which is what you need when you go into the playoffs. So again, and helps them down this stretch to, maybe knock off the Rams. They still play the Rams twice. So like that division is still completely open for them. So I love this move from Seattle, and the Saints get value that I thought was appropriate.
Yes, and obviously not to the same extent that we had talked about with the Colts, but this goes back to a team seeing that like the league is wide open. Can we make a move to better ourselves and hopefully bump us up a tier to make us feel more confident come playoffs? And I think this is exactly what it does. Again, now you have a very well-rounded, I don't want to say elite, but a good, well-rounded wide receiver room that's headlined by one of the better wide receivers that we've seen thus far, and then some very complementary pieces with Horton, Rashid, and Cooper Kupp when he is healthy, which who knows off and on, which obviously contributes to why they felt they needed to make this move in the first place. But again, it just gives you a very well-rounded offense as a whole to really balance what you have on the defensive side of the football. And from both sides, I think the Saints got good value, but I don't think the Seahawks overpaid for him. So, this is one of those things that you give a round of applause to both teams involved and say, good job, guys, and then carry on.
Yeah, I like the deal a lot. Like you said, it's fun, and it seems like Shaheed wants to, stick around as well in Seattle. So between him and JSN, who has been electric this season, I'm excited to see what that duo can do. As soon as this
Torrey
week.
Horton, pal.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's fascinating, man. I to finally see the Saints making moves like this, like pretty smart, calculated moves in terms of like this is an expiring contract and you can't pay both receivers at this point in your rebuild. And so to send one off, I think is the right choice, and we'll see how it goes for him moving to Seattle.
And a tip of the cap again to Matt. Matt was editing our little trade deadline preview of it all, and he was like, Ben, I hate you for saying that he's going to be a Buck. I think it would be really, really fun if he is a Seahawk, and then 2 days later he gets traded to the Seahawks. So it's tip of the cap.
That was an important part of this. All right, this is an important part of this. Is he needed to go somewhere where I can appreciate his services, and I think I got that. So
yeah,
which there's not many teams that I would be like absolutely not. But like if this was the Steelers, I would have been pretty upset. But we move on. Should we hit on your Eagles or hit another receiver move, Ben?
Let's hit the receiver move here.
All right. Moving on to Jacoby Myers going to the Jags. And it's like you laugh out loud and say the Jags made another move for a wide receiver. Yes, they did. A 4th and a 6th round pick. But not so fast, my friend. The Jaguars still have 11 expected picks in this draft without their first round pick traded for Travis Hunter this season. So, again, this is kind of one of those things that would you rather have the 4th round pick if you're the Jags or have a guy that can catch the football? Yeah, I'd probably have Jacoby Myers at this point in time, and I think we're going to see it. Like, dare I say he outproduces Brian Thomas the rest of the way because he can catch the football?
He might. I mean, and it was a move that they needed to make. I mean, for those who didn't watch the recap show, we spent like far too much time like saying Parker Washington's name. And I don't want to like disrespect Parker Washington, but if he's your like leading target getter, something's not going right, especially for your offense. Again, this wasn't a team that I expected to be in the wide receiver market. But when you kind of take a step back and you look at it, you're like, well, again, Brian Thomas didn't look the way we expected him, especially making that jump. And again, this is a division that's kind of open. Again, the Colts are the favorite, but see if you can get a guy to hopefully settle Trevor Lawrence, which I think is the most important thing of it all, settle Trevor Lawrence in a little bit and see if that can get him feeling more comfortable within this offense as a grand scheme. And I think this was a great move for them. And hopefully this allows, again, Trevor Lawrence to feel a little bit more comfortable and trust his pass catchers that he has. But Ryan, your thoughts?
Yeah, I would have liked to see what his market looked like, on the trade deadline, considering that it was taken down to the final day. This is somebody that the Raiders were once looked at as like somebody they didn't necessarily want to move. But he had requested a trade early on in the season. So it's like, to me, given the fact that they knew that he already wanted out, what did that look like, in that market? And that's, that's what's interesting to me, at least. But I don't know, when you put it in the way that you did in terms of the compensation that he got moved for, I don't hate it. The only thing that I dislike about it is that he's 29 years old. I understand that he's only got a $5 million cap hit, but he's a free agent this upcoming season. You know what I mean? And with that being said, they don't have a contract in place for Jacoby Myers. Not to say that they wouldn't put one in place, but that's not something that's even being reported on. So to me, Jacoby Myers, despite the fact he's not physically still in Vegas, but to me, it's like you're still in the same place, because I feel like Jacoby Myers was looking for some kind of long-term solution as well. And it's not like he's going to be getting that in Jacksonville. So, here's a 4th and a 6th round pick for a receiver that's auditioning for a different job. That's the way that I'm kind of looking at it right now. And with that being said, it's just like, I don't know if I would have given that much, but
Ryan, you're overlooking the point. He can catch the football and he's a wide receiver.
I know. That's why I said, like, I get what you're saying, and I hear you, and I can understand it a little bit more than what I did on the outside looking in. But understanding Jaguars football, not a lot of fun to watch right now because of all the drops, but hopefully this can pull out a little bit more of BTJ as well, just because dude's really good. And he's on a crazy slump, man. It's kind of sad, but yeah, I mean, fingers crossed. I don't know.
Question here for the both of you as well. Do you think they make this move if Travis Hunter doesn't get hurt? Like if Travis Hunter doesn't go on IR and he just continues to be healthy,
because they're so
different. Do you think
different,
the Jaguars are looking to? You think they still make this move regardless?
Yes.
I'm gonna say yes, but I don't think they're gonna be as aggressive. So like maybe they move for somebody else specifically. So like they make a move for a receiver, yes, but maybe they don't get Jacoby Myers for a 4th and a 6th. Maybe they go out and get somebody else for cheaper. You know what I mean? Obviously, there's still a problem on the team when it comes to something needing addressed for the lack of catches. And, they address the problem. So, that's another thing. That's why I'm like, listen, like, with Travis Hunter being out, you're getting him back. So, like, are you going to extend Jacoby Myers or not? Because at that point, it would make a 4th-round pick, somewhat worth it. But no, I don't think so either. And that's why it's like a bit of an overpay. And you're also competing in a division with a team that's currently 8-1 or 7-2. Sorry. So, it doesn't look great to me, but we'll see. I'm also really low on Jacoby Myers compared to
I feel like you're trying to galaxy brain this a little bit. Like I think their plan is just getting another option in the room while Hunter's out, and then having similar to Seattle, where it's just we have more options. We have more options if we're going to make a playoff push. And if he walks out the door, that's completely fine because we have a comparable player in Washington already. So I don't trip the Jaguars at all, just getting another body in the room that can play football, and for the Raiders getting something in return for a guy that they were done with. Like, flat out, I think they were just already done with Jacoby Myers, and now with Bowers back, like, they have someone who can catch the ball over the middle of the field like what
He's
Myers
insane.
does. So I think from that point of view, if you get 9-10 good weeks of Jacoby Myers for this price, I think it's worth it. I do.
What else we got after this one, boys?
We got 2 more edge rushers to hit on, and then we'll hit like the smaller moves. Let's go to Ben's Eagles. The Eagles get Jalen Phillips for a 3rd-round pick this season after a podcast in which Ben said he would trade a 2nd for Jalen Phillips. So I have to assume Ben is over the moon. I'll swing it right to him. What are your thoughts on this one?
Over the moon. It was, I had woken up like early and like right as I was making my morning coffee Monday morning, like this trade had came across and I was ecstatic. I about jumped out of my bed and I'm like, who needs this coffee anymore? I am pumped. Because again, that continues to be like the big issue for the Eagles is their inability to get to the quarterback. And I think Jalen Phillips is the perfect guy to get it done. I think people often, and this is a conversation that we have had, are overlooking Jalen Phillips. And I don't know if that's because he plays for the Dolphins, because he has had 2 season-ending injuries.
It's the injury.
Maybe a mix of both. But I think this is the exact move that they needed to make to kind of solidify this defense a little bit more. And this is a guy that Vic Fangio talked about so much in a high regard to begin with. So the fact that you're able to get him for a 3rd-round pick, as you said, which isn't going to set this team back because they're most likely going to have 2 3rd-round picks this year anyways. Again, it's tough because you don't quite know how the comp pick formula is going to work out. I say that because we expect a 3rd-round pick for Milton Williams. You don't know how it works out. But then the big piece of that too is you're trading your own 3rd-round pick. You didn't even have to trade the 3rd-round pick that you got from the Jets. And the Dolphins are taking on the majority of the cap here. That's, I think, really the big thing that I'm interested in terms of how I'm going to feel about this trade come the end of the season is what's the long-term piece for this? Or did you trade a 3rd-round pick for a guy that's going to play 9 games for you and then hit the door and walk in free agency? Or is how we going to hopefully learn from his mistakes of letting Josh Sweat go, who just dominated the Cowboys a couple days ago, and pay the man because you need the pass rush. But I think it was a steal to be able to get him. And again, hopefully it just absolutely changes this defense and injects some more life into it. And again, it was my dream trade deadline move for the Eagles. And I'm just so happy that I could sit here on the podcast and kind of gush about what this is. But your guys' thoughts on it.
I'm happy you got Jalen Phillips for your birthday. I'm really upset to see you happy though. I just saw this. I'm like, rich get richer. Here we go. Like, you know what I mean? That's my initial
Yeah.
reaction to it. You nailed everything else. I got a feeling I know how this is going to end. You know what I mean? And to just put the icing on the cake, in just a couple weeks on Black Friday, we got to play them. So not fun. And not to mention too, like a third round pick's a pretty decent price to pay. I hope that it works out for you guys. I hope that you extend them and everything goes fine and dandy and everything like that. But also screw you, man. You get all the nice shiny toys,
I love that they attacked this body type. I love that they attacked a guy who's actually 270 pounds and can rush the passer, because this is something that, like, we said going into the year that I hated their edge room. Like, I like some of the things Nolan Smith does, but outside of him, it's just a lot of, guys who are 240 or sub 245. Like, it really is. It was a missing piece. It's why you go out and get Zadarius Smith for, pennies. It's why you're trying to bring Brandon Graham back to just play early down run setting. And now you get a guy who can play all three downs, hopefully. Like, that's the big thing. If you like this trade, then you're saying to hell with the injury stuff. He's healthy this year. He's played really good football. I can agree with that. If you don't like the price, it's because you think he's just going to get hurt again, which I can't argue with you. He's played 12 games in the last 2 seasons. This year, hasn't missed a game. And also just a little interview, I don't know if you saw this, Ben, where he's talking about Vic, how he's like, there is no place I would rather be than here. So this is a guy who is coming in fresh off of, like, this, contract-laden season, and he's rejuvenated to play for a winning organization. He's rejuvenated to play for a coordinator he likes, because we think back to Javon Holland. You remember Javon Holland, like, I think he posted something when they fired Vic in Miami where it's like taking out the trash. Like, so you didn't know if he liked Vic Fangio, and he apparently loves him. So again, I think from all, like, the human elements part of this, also the football player, I love it for the Eagles. Also, doesn't hurt that you have a Hassan Reddick pick just in your back pocket, by the way. And the Jets got, 3 games out of him? So, like, again, just to just have that in the back of your pocket. And it's like, nobody even cares about what happened with Bryce Huff now. Like, this is just, that's just what happens. So, again, great stuff from the Eagles general manager. And then we move on to the last major notable trade. The Titans trade Draymond Jones to the Ravens for a conditional 5th that turns into a 4th. I don't know the conditions on it. What, I think it has to be snap share or something like that.
Yeah.
I think the Ravens just get another guy who is kind of that, like, someone compared him to Pernell McPhee the other day when this trade went down, and I'm like, oh man, that's really good. Like, that's just a great pull. It's exactly what you would think, just similar to Phillips, where it's like, you just want to be violent in the run game, violent downhill, create some mismatches along the edge because he's a bigger body, and we can just, let's go and just get another defensive lineman in the room. They're going to get Van Noy back. They lost, they traded away Owe to figure out the back end. So, I mean, they kind of supplement his production into Draymond Jones. So I love this trade for the Ravens, and the Titans get a pick for a guy, again, like the Saints, where it's like, we're probably not going to hold on to you for much longer.
I was able to find the conditions. It's kind of not a condition that we're super used to seeing, and this is from Pelissero, by the way, so a pretty reliable source. It looks like that 5th turns into a 4th if the Ravens make the playoffs and he records 2 more sacks in the regular season, which is, again, something that you're not quite used to, but that makes complete sense for both teams, because you're hoping that making this trade kind of puts you further into that playoff contention. So it makes sense why the Ravens would agree to something like that. And again, I think this is kind of the piece that you were missing when you were trading away Odafe Oweh in the first place. You now don't have a guy that can kind of pin his ears back and get after the quarterback, and Draymond Jones can do that. And he's not a complete liability in the run game. You're not looking at him and saying, like, oh my gosh, this dude is an excellent, run defender. So far through the first half of the season, he's graded out quite literally like average out of like 116 grades. I think he's like 55 in terms of run grade. So he's like right there. He's not gonna blow you away, but he's also, you're not gonna look at him in the field and be like, what are you doing? And again, it adds that pass rushing piece that they have been missing this season, especially with Matabuke going down. So I thought it was a great trade, and I thought it was really, really good value for them to be able to get him for a fifth that is maybe a fourth. And again, that fourth won't matter because you're going to be ecstatic that you made the playoffs and that this guy actually made an impact on your team. So I loved it for them. And again, I love it for the Titans continuing to be able to build up picks in a season that is already going to be thrown away because you're not going to be able to win anything. So again, it's another one, just like we talked about the Seahawks and Saints, where I'm like, good job. Round of applause for both teams.
Yeah, you hit it right on the nail. The one thing that I'm kind of caught up on is the compensation, to where maybe I overrated him. So I was like, thought he would go for a little bit more, but totally fine that he didn't. And Ravens kind of all in on this push with Lamar, as they should be, because this guy's really good at football too. So
breaking news.
Yeah. Grass is also green. Sky is also blue.
All right. So, Ryan, you have the rest of the little notable trades that we kind of.
Yeah, dude. This
speed through.
Bears just absolutely killing the deadline. I think they won it, right? Yeah. Joe Tryon-Shoyinka and a 7th round pick for a 6th, dude. Get ready. Monsters of the Midway are back, right? Yeah, I don't even know.
I
who this
looked
guy
it up
is.
on PFF. How many snaps do you think he's played this season?
Under 40.
God.
It's 31.
31. Dang it.
Yeah.
I knew it was 31 too. I just didn't want to say it and be so wrong. That's why I said under 40. I knew it was the 30s. Yeah, okay. Whatever. Trevor
Warm
Penning to the
bodies.
Chargers for a 2027 6th. Hey, how about that? Pretty cool.
Warm bodies.
Jair Alexander in a 7th to the Eagles for a 6th round pick. Dude's a bum. Woohoo. And then Logan Wilson to the Cowboys for a 7th round pick. Dude just got benched. Good for the Cowboys, I guess.
Of all the moves that's of a fan base, and it's get excited your team made a trade, I guess. But my Lord, Cowboys fans are pumped to have Logan Wilson on his.
If it takes Kenneth Murray off the field, I understand that. I understand that part of it.
Yes, and Agent Zero Overshown is going to be coming back here soon, so hopefully it's a revamped linebacking core for them. But again, Cowboys fans are pumped, and I'm like, pump the brakes. All right, the 2 worst defenses in the NFL, depending on what metric you look at, are the Cowboys and the Bengals, and the Bengals just benched this guy. So congratulations, I guess. But as you said, if it keeps Kenneth Murray off the field, that is really the big plus. So,
yeah.
When quarterbacks target him this season, they have a 125.8 passer rating.
Kenneth Murray?
Logan Wilson.
Sorry. All right. Moving on to our next segment here. Games of the week. Good stuff. Thursday Night Football, huh? Yeah. Raiders, Broncos. Who's excited for this one?
Yeah,
I see hands. Am I seeing hands?
I'm
seeing things.
I'm again, what I'm going to be watching for this one is again just more Broncos defense against the Raiders offensive line. Remember a few weeks ago we talked about the Raiders offensive line. It hasn't gotten much better. They're scoring more points because Bowers is back, but the Broncos defensive line continues to just wreck games. They were able to kind of stonewall, I think, 2 separate goal-to-go drives for the Texans against them, and the Texans ended up taking 5 field goals in that game. Overall, the Broncos' offense is still a work in progress, even halfway through the season. So I don't have any comments on them. But overall,
I've got a weird, as the vibes guy of the podcast, I've got a weird gut feeling that the over is going to hit. I will be putting money on that. I don't know why, but it's like, I don't know. I feel like points are going to be scored.
Stay tuned for my pick.
Yeah.
Vibe guy. Feel the vibes.
Feel the vibes. As our residential vibes guy. No, the big thing for me is like, can the Raiders, can this offense continue to grow? I don't want to say take a leap, but can we continue to see them take a step forward in the passing games with now a fully healthy Brock Bowers? Again, this isn't really the defense to use as a measuring stick of it, but we saw them take that step forward in the Jags game. This is like the first game where we're not like gouging our eyes out having to watch Geno Smith play football. So I'm wondering if again, we can see them take kind of a step forward or hopefully maybe just not a step back with Brock Bowers now fully being healthy. Again, it's a very tough task against this Broncos defense. And again, poor Geno Smith, he's gonna die. He's gonna get sacked like 8 times in this. He's gonna die. He's gonna get sacked like 8 times in this game because, like, as we've discussed ad nauseum, this offensive line for the Raiders is awful, and this Broncos pass rush is fantastic. But again, can they just not look awful with Brock Bowers back? Is kind of the thing.
Bar is low.
Look.
Can you not look awful? Love to see it. But
well, I mean, low for us, but a high bar for Geno Smith.
This is true. We'll get into some picks. Did you guys make some picks on this one? If you want me to lead it off, I can. So
yeah, go ahead, lead it off. I have one, but I'll have my. Go.
We talked about the over and Ryan teasing the over. Well, I'm going back to the well. I'm going back to the well, and I'm going to my first half unders for Thursday night football. 22.5. I thought this one, again, this is one of those games that I don't want to have major stake in, but throwing an under on it, again, that's 3 touchdowns, 2 touchdowns and a field goal, kind of where I'm looking at. From each team, or from, both teams combined, you hit that under pretty safely, similar to Steelers and Bengals a few weeks ago, outside of a pretty bad 2-minute drill interception that would have hit last time I did this. So let's go back to the well. Let's hit some Thursday night football unders. It was this or Genty under 55.5.
Well, you were trying to make it hard for me to build this parlay because I cannot find the first half under in FanDuel to save my life here. My head was kind of in the same space as you in terms of the Genty, but on the other side of the football there, I think the Broncos are just going to kind of grab the bull by the horns in this game and just really never let it up. And I think they're just going to run the clock out and say, we know we're the better team. We don't have to do anything crazy. We'll let our defense handle it. And for that reason, I'm going to go J.K. Dobbins anytime touchdown score at -130.
I like it.
Yeah, I'm just gonna take the over. I don't really think that I've got too much invested in this game, so I'll be watching football, but that's about it. Football.
Take Bowers.
Bowers is cool. I mean, I'd consider Bowers maybe.
Because I don't want to have a correlation. I don't want to have my under and then you're over.
Yeah.
No,
we gotta hit this week. All right, we're 2 out of 3 in the last 2 weeks. All right, we gotta hit this one. The pressure's on. The pressure's on, chat.
I really like. Fine, I'll switch it for the sake of the show.
Ooh.
Let it be known I'm taking one for the team here, and I'll take like Brock Bowers.
Set the over as a side.
But
Yeah,
yeah.
you
Bet
can
the over
laugh.
as a side because I'm the vibes guy and that's what I do. But Brock Bowers
Well,
do like what's his
Did you
over
just
under at for
disconnect?
yards? Yeah, I
What
haven't even
happened?
looked.
Brock Bowers.
Can you hear me?
What?
You can hear me, right?
Yeah, now I can.
Now
His
we
over
can.
under on yards. I'm so sorry. I don't know what happened. Yeah. What is his over under on receiving yards?
66.5.
Okay.
Slam the over.
Take 70 plus just for the vibes and the risk.
Whoa,
You
look
know,
at this guy.
I like to be a bad boy sometimes. You know what I'm
Look at this
saying? It's a
guy.
bad boy move. Take it 70 yards.
All right. Well,
You know what? Don't take that. Actually, don't take that. Take the under. I don't like that.
okay.
Take the under.
Taking
Take
the
the
under.
under.
All right,
Yeah.
taking the under. So under 22.5 first half total. J.K. Dobbins to get in the end zone anytime touchdown, and Brock Bowers under 66.5 on FanDuel plus 525. We're gonna win this week, guys. Back-to-back weeks of 2 out of 3, as I mentioned. So we're gonna hit this time. All right.
Do you know which league?
And then side bet, take the over.
And as a side, no, but like alt over, but like take like a crazy alt over.
You're right. 53.5. That's what it is. I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Don't do that.
So valid.
Yeah. All right. Next game. Should we? I mean, we've been going for a while.
We're just gonna do
yeah. Let's
one.
do.
Yeah,
Let's do
just Bucks
one.
fans.
Yeah.
Executive
Fun
call,
stuff.
guys.
Sorry for your lack of content. We've only been live for an hour and 12 minutes at this point. Yeah. So Bucks and Patriots. This was my game of the week. I'm just a sucker for good quarterback matchups. That's what I was like. Ooh, Drake May. Ooh, Baker Mayfield.
Why are we not talking about Ravens Vikings then?
Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
The Tom
Oh.
Brady LFG guy of the week. Yeah, let's talk about that guy, that nerd. You guys see that cringe video that he put out, or no, the Vikings put out about him? That was gross to
God.
watch. I hated that. Anyways, talking about two good quarterbacks now. Patriots Bucks. Absolutely fun here. I really hate taking the spread in either direction here. This is a must watch for me this week. I'm really looking forward to this one. But I mean, I think that it's just, and Vegas knows it too, just looking at the over under 48.5. Both of these quarterbacks are so good and could score at any point in time. It's going to be a fun matchup. And I know that Matt's got the stats, and I know that Ben is, just as much of a fan of these guys as me. Maybe not Baker, but I mean, just for a football fan's perspective, could you ask for much more here? And not to mention the Patriots, man. Like, as much as I really didn't expect it, it's so much fun to see a guy like Drake May go as crazy as he is with people like Demario Douglas, and you know what I mean? Like, I mean, who predicted that at the beginning of the season? Because I didn't. You know what I mean? And like Hunter Henry finding the end zone. You know what I mean? Maybe give the ball a little bit more to Travion Henderson. I don't know. Maybe don't. I don't know. Maybe don't. But it's like, this is a fun team. They're unpredictable. And I love the Patriots for that. And then on the other side of things, Baker Mayfield doing Baker Mayfield things, man. It's great. Dude plays with a chip on his shoulder ever since he left Cleveland. You know what I mean? And he's had that weird stint in Carolina. It's like, this dude, like, he had to have gone on some kind of Aaron Rodgers darkness retreat and that stint between the Carolina and LA Rams trip, right? Because it's like, the guy that left Carolina and the guy that we've seen since the LA Rams game is a completely different person. And with that being said, he's become one of the most fun quarterbacks to watch for me in the league. So I'm just like, these are two fun teams. There's no stat behind it. There's no real bet behind it. It's just, I'm going to sandwich two fun teams to watch this season and put them out there. And this is why it's my game of the week.
No, and I don't think you could go wrong. Despite how my on and off feeling towards one Baker Mayfield, I can't say he hasn't been good. He's been a lot of fun to watch. again, I'm really interested in terms of the Bucks side of it, how the injury report plays out. Those three big guys were all did not participate. It's DNPs in Godwin, Bucky, and Reddick. We'll see if that changes. I know there's some hope within the building that maybe Bucky is back this week, but again, you have no clue. But again, it's so hard. We've said it numerous times to not root for Drake May and everything that he's been able to accomplish with this, ragtag group of wide receivers. And I think if they win this game, that's gonna kind of be the area that they have to attack. This Bucks passing defense is a very gettable passing defense. They're 22nd in the league, so the bottom third of the league here at this point, compared to the ninth-ranked passing offense that the Patriots have. So if you win this game, it's just because Drake May continues to be stellar, and I don't think that changes anytime soon. And then in terms of the Henderson stuff, I am team anti get Henderson going. All right. It has worked not getting him going. Don't curse yourself. You're going to have a game where he gets 20 carries and you're going to lose. All right. This is a curse looming over the field. I think Vrabel knows it. This is me being the superstitious guy. Don't do it. Don't do it. It's working. Don't change it. I promise you're going to regret it.
He's the national champion. He's really good at football.
Yes,
Matt, what do you got?
I'm completely joking about the Henderson aspect of it.
Yeah, I mean this comes down to pretty simply. I think the Patriots have been living and dying with a second-year quarterback who has been tremendously phenomenal, but they haven't faced a rush defense like this yet. In Tampa Bay, like this, any metric you look at, they're top 5. Bowles is going to throw some stuff at you in pressures, and when you throw pressures a lot, it gets more bodies in the box to defend that run game. So again, it all depends on how we see the Patriots kind of live on that third and 7. Sometimes it's that simple with a game like this. And then on the other side with the Bucks offense, this is again like a pretty gettable Patriots pass defense. I don't know the status of Christian Gonzalez off the top of my head. I know he did leave the game against the Falcons. Maybe it was ego because he got dunked on Drake London. I don't know. But overall, like, again, I think Ryan hit it on the head. Like, I love to see Ryan this passionate about one of these games that doesn't include the Bears. Like, this is just two quarterbacks who have been ripping the ball down the field. They both have real MVP cases, even though, like, in the end doesn't matter because Sam Darnold just got Rashid Shaheed. But, like, this is just a lot of fun with these two quarterbacks to sling it around the yard in controlled situations in Florida. I think this one will be a fun one that I think most of the country is going to be watching.
You ready? I've got 2 picks for you.
Oh, he came with the picks.
Really quickly. Gonzo was a full participant. Again, it comes down to how he's feeling day of with the concussion protocol.
Full participant, yeah, he's fine.
Yeah, I think he's fine. Really, the two things that make you wince just a little bit is I'm going to say his number 1 wide receiver, which is really hard to say that because he's not really a number 1 overall wide receiver in this offense, but his number 1 guy, or at least playmaker, in Keyshawn Boutte is out with a hamstring, which you never know how long that stuff injures. He was a DNP. And then his center, Garrett Bradbury, was also a DNP, which is not going to help Matt's point in terms of rushing offense by any means. So those are just 2 guys to keep an eye on as the week progresses.
All right. So my picks, right? That's what I want to throw out there. I was just spitballing, honestly. These ones are kind of easy. I want in an alt, number, I guess, prop, right? I want both quarterbacks 225 plus in terms of passing yards. Looking at the stats right now, Drake May has failed to hit that number twice this season, whereas Baker Mayfield has failed to hit that number 3 times this season. But I do expect this one to be a high-flying, high-action game. And with that being said, both quarterbacks will be heavily involved in the pass game, especially Drake May, given the crappy run game that he has. And like I said, or like Ben said, who knows, where Bucky's going to be this week. So that's also going to have a massive effect on the game plan going into it. So take 225 plus for both quarterbacks and have fun watching football, because that's
Absolutely.
my advice.
Whoa. I like it.
Yeah.
Why not 300? All right. We did
tempted.
the singular game of the week because do we really want to talk about Ravens Vikings? Probably not. We could spend some time on the winner of that game next time around. But let's get into some pigskin pick'em. Ryan's got the records.
Yeah.
I think.
Hey, hold on a minute.
It's not done until
really
Ryan
quick.
says it's done.
Before we dive into this, I just want to say we will be going back to the normal games of the week slate. So expect that next week.
I kind of like the two, guys. I think we're going to stick with two.
Okay, we might stick with two. I don't know. That we will converse as a
we will have to
3-man podcast, and we will we will figure this out. But stay posted on that. It's gonna be fun. But yes, pigskin pick'em. Yes, I was probably the only person that had fun for Monday Night Football because I picked the Cardinals with Matt, and Ben picked the Cowboys. That being said, Matt finished 7-6, Ben finished 8-5, and I finished 10-3. Solid week for the kid, no big deal.
Still an uphill battle.
So that brings the overall score. Ben's at 93-40-1. Matt is 83-50-1, and I am 78-55-1. Yeah, so I know it's a rough feeling, isn't it? Welcome to the club.
You tried to swing it. You tried swinging it,
and all it did was swing one game.
It's so unfortunate how that works, isn't it? I'm telling you. But yeah, it's I'm just saying, don't count me out because I've been here the whole time. I am the defending champion. All right, I know I'm 15 games behind, but we're gonna figure this thing out. We're gonna steer this ship the right way.
It's been a
weird season, guys. Yeah. Anyways, bye weeks for this week include the Cincinnati Bengals, the Dallas Cowboys, the Kansas City Chiefs, thank God, and then the Tennessee Titans. So enjoy your week off. That's gonna suck, dude. I'm so happy my bye week's already over. Raiders, Broncos, Thursday Night Football. Are we all in unison here when we say Broncos? Huh?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes.
Which one of you psychopaths are going to take the Raiders? I know you want to.
I kind of wanted to. Like, I kind of really did want to take the Raiders.
You do a podcast with a couple guys.
I'll take the Broncos for the show. I'm going to be sprinkling Raiders money line.
That's a smart move. I continue to have questions.
Because I can't lose the game. If we're all picking the Broncos, then we all lose. I can't be.
He's playing strategy now. I hate it. Falcons, Colts in Berlin. It's going to be. We got Sunday morning football, gentlemen, in Berlin.
Yes, dude.
Falcons, Colts.
Oh, I love these games.
Fun. Daniel Jones, is he back to being Daniel
Sauce
Jones?
Is playing.
Sauce is also playing. Matt.
Dude, this is where it's like, I'm going to take the Colts. I don't love it because the Falcons they'll either be the 85 Bears or they'll be the 2025 Bears. And it's it's so weird. And I'm talking defensively. Yeah. They just cannot get it right for a consistent stretch of time. This could be one of those games where it's they just have the defensive pressure that the Steelers had, and the Colts score 13 points and everyone's panicking. I could see that, but I'm gonna take the Colts. Don't love
Ben.
It.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Colts, but again, I am interested to see if the Steelers were able to factory reset Daniel Jones.
Yeah. I will also take the Colts. And with this next game, I am making an executive decision here. Ben, congratulations. You're in first place right now by 10 games to the second place, 15 games to the third place. That being said, from here on out until the lead changes, you are going to pick first. So,
That's
Ben,
fine.
Browns and Jets. What are we thinking?
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the team that has the better pass rusher here because I hate them both. So I'm gonna go with the Browns.
Stoppable force meets movable object. The Browns are 0-4 on the road this year, and even like lost in what was it? In London?
Yeah.
The Jets are 0-5
yeah.
at home. So something has to change. The Browns are either going to win away from Cleveland or the Jets are going to win in their home stadium. I'm going to take the Jets.
Yeah. See, I was thinking about it too, because here's the thing.
And wouldn't that be the most Jets thing too for them to be like, we're going?
I hate it. I hate this so much because
I'm
betting
most
against
Jets?
Myles Garrett and that defensive line, and I really think the Jets could score 3 points.
Is it
But I
going to
have to
be
take
the
the
most
opposite.
Jets thing possible, or would it be the most Browns thing possible to lose to this team? I don't think it happens. I'm going Browns. I'm going to close the gap between me and Matt this week. That's what's going to happen. Saints, Panthers. Are the Panthers good? What are we thinking, Ben? Come on. Give us your words of wisdom. Come on.
I hate this. This is another one of those games. I think the Saints could do it. It's in division. I'm not gonna do it. The offense has looked awful, and they just got rid of one of their better pieces. I will go the Panthers.
Vele's going to be is going to be highlighted this week. All right.
Rico Dowdle looks like one of the most productive running backs in the entire league this year. What's up with that? Crazy stuff,
Panthers, baby.
Matt.
I'm going to take Panthers.
Yeah. I feel like that's sad. You know what I mean? I feel like you also wanted to take the Saints. I did, and then I was like, oh yeah, they don't have Rashid Shaheed. That kind of sucks. So Panthers for me. Patriots at Buccaneers. Ben.
All right, Matt. This is a chance for you to pick the team that you wanted to pick the entire time. It hurts my soul. It really does. My baby boy Drake May. It hurts, but I'm gonna have to pick against you. I'm gonna go Bucks, and every fiber of my being is telling me to pick the Panthers here, but I am gonna go Bucks.
You heard it here first, guys. Ben is not the admin for Drake May Lover on Instagram and Twitter. Matt, what do you got?
That's the plot twist. I am. Give me the Patriots.
Again, I'm closing the gap this week. I'm taking the Bucks. Ravens, Vikings.
I don't like that we're on the same page, Ryan. You're gonna bring.
We're gonna tank this. It's either I'm closing the gap or Matt is.
I just don't like that you.
Whoa.
Ravens. Well, give it his record. Give it his record. I'm going Ravens because
we told you to pick first. You're taking your picks.
Again, Ravens. I'm taking the better of two very good quarterbacks.
Shut up.
Do I take the better one? Did you guys see his alter ego?
Yes.
That was funny. That was pretty good. I like that.
Stares at itself in the mirror.
I think this is one of those games where the Vikings defense could take over like they did the Lions. I mean, they just beat the Lions a week ago. Give me Baltimore.
Yeah, I'm also going Ravens. You think you're going to dupe me and make me pick the Vikings this week? Well, you're wrong. All right. Bills, Dolphins. Ben, what do you got?
No, I wonder who I'm going to pick.
Come on.
Bills. Give me the Bills. Hey, this could be a game that Matt picks the Dolphins. As we know, Matt loves to pick against the Bills.
I hate the Bills.
Matt is an anti-Bills guy here.
Known Bills hater.
You picked against him in the Panthers game, in the Chiefs game, in the Patriots game. We know you hate the Bills. You're gonna do it again. This is really what the people are here to watch.
I was right on the Patriots one. You can't I'll take the Dolphins.
Seriously?
Oh!
Are you serious? Oh my god. Okay, cool. I'll take Bills, and then I'll put in parentheses by a million.
It will not be
Just
by a
emphasize.
million. We watched the Thursday night game. I think the Dolphins can attack this secondary. I think the Bills had their championship last week. They're gonna need a
Dude, Tua has one eye. What are we talking about?
and he scored like
He's
40
better with
points.
one eye.
He's better.
He's the Terminator. It's crazy.
He's really good.
Yeah. Giants
They
at
punted on the Ravens
Bears.
game because they knew about this one.
I really don't want
Good
to
narrative.
this game.
I don't even know
I
what game
really,
you said.
really
Giants
don't wanna
at
pick this
Bears.
game.
I'll just take the Bears. I don't like it.
Yeah,
I don't like
gonna-
either
yeah.
side.
that's how I am. I'm picking the Bears, but I don't
Take
like
the
it.
over. Can I bet the over?
Yeah.
Yes.
You guys are taking the Bears. That's funny because I'm taking.
Wait,
the Giants.
okay. I know where this isn't a Bears podcast,
How many
but
times did you pick
hey,
against the Bears?
Ryan,
Listen,
Thoughts
hold on.
on
No.
Roman
In
Reigns?
these like
No.
favorite spots.
Listen to me.
Thoughts?
No. Listen, we've allotted a whole 2 minutes to the Bears and airtime today. Okay, let's not do this week. All right, please.
okay.
This team is not good enough for
Quickly,
this.
We have to do it. We
If they
have to
win
do
this
it.
week. No.
Thoughts,
If they win this week,
thoughts
we'll
on
talk about
James
it.
Adunze. Thoughts on James Adunze.
The good
Dude needs to
thoughts.
get off
Good-
Twitter. End
good
of
thoughts.
story. Yeah, dude needs to get
Valid
off Twitter.
criticism.
Rome leads the team in receptions. What is he talking or targets? What is he talking about? All right. Jags at Texans. I was really trying there, you jerk. Anyway, yeah.
Jags.
Texans.
I'll go Jags.
Stop.
No, my thing is, listen, like I'm gonna close this gap. It's gonna
What
be
if I
all
get
right.
All these right.
Then Matt's gonna be really good. It's gonna look really good
What
for
if I
the
get
kid.
all of them?
I'm gonna tally this up at the end just to see how many we disagreed on. It's gonna be good.
Oh, I have it.
Cardinals, Seahawks.
Seattle.
Do it. I was gonna say pick it against me again, man. I'm picking Seahawks. I
Yeah,
dare
me too.
you. Yeah, there's gonna be another spot. There's gonna be a tiebreaker, and it's gonna come down to Monday Night Football. I guarantee it. But that's besides the point. We'll get there.
Oh, Monday Night Football.
Lions, Commanders.
who
Are we
I'm
all on the
like.
same page here as well?
Yes.
Which one?
Lions, Commanders.
Hmm.
You taking Marcus Mariota?
Yeah.
You serious?
Give me
Yeah. Rams, 49ers.
Rams.
Matt.
Niners sweep them.
Oh my goodness. Dude, it's so insane, bro. How many he's disagreed with. I'm also going the Rams. But yeah, it's
Leave
insane.
me alone, please.
No.
'Cause I know you're not gonna.
Ste-
I know you're not gonna do it for Monday Night Football too, which hurts.
yeah,
Leave me
you're,
alone, please.
you're damn right. Steelers, Chargers.
Ben.
You said Steelers Chargers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
the game we're doing.
The same. Well, just the same way that the Steelers kind of wrecked this game with the Colts. I think there's the path for them to do it against the Chargers here, especially with those really bad offensive tackles aforementioned. So I'm gonna take the Steelers here. I don't like it, but I'm gonna do it because it makes sense.
Matt?
Chargers.
Okay, fine. I'll agree with you on here. No. You know what? No.
Right.
Nope, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it.
This is an excellent bit.
Yeah.
This is an excellent bit.
Eagles.
You guys are
at
each going to win
Packers.
10, and I'm going to win 3. It's such a good bit.
Eagles, Packers.
Ben?
Matt, who are you taking here, Matt?
No.
Ben?
No. It's the rule. He's the
No,
first.
no,
It's
no,
the
no,
rule.
me. We know exactly what team I'm taking. Give me the Birds.
Okay, see, that's what I wanted. Thank you.
You took the Birds in a high-profile NFC matchup. That never happens. I'm glad to
What?
see you. Glad to see. I always think back to the Rams. I always think back to
Yeah.
the Rams game. You're like, I'm scared of the Rams.
Rightfully
Hey, Jordan
so.
Love, bad at football. So I'm also going Eagles here. Surprise.
See,
I'm
God.
taking Eagles. Taking Eagles.
Eagles.
Oh,
Nobody loses.
oh!
All right. there we
Nobody
go.
nobody
Okay.
gains or loses the ground. My heart is rooting for the Green Bay Packers, but
That's
I will
okay.
not
So
be.
you're right. No one.
I will not
there's
lose a game on
very-
this.
There's a very real possibility, knowing our luck, that we just split dead even on the 6 games that we pick different from one another. We're gonna go 3-3, and it's gonna be fantastic. For those who are really following along with the bit,
But
the
what
games
if
that
I
we
go
pick different
6-0?
for not happening, buddy. For the games that we picked different on, it's Bills, Dolphins, Browns, Jets, Saints, Panthers, Jags, Texans, Rams, Niners, and Steelers, Chargers.
Hey, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna take the Bears instead of the Giants. I'm gonna flip flop really quick because you guys took the Bears, and I don't want to be the guy that roots against this team so that I could close the gap on a podcast. So
That always
go Bears.
that always seems to be the case when we pick the Bears and you go against
Yeah.
them. So
I would like
Expect
to also
nothing.
flip. I'm just kidding.
Are you? All right, no, that's not happening. Executive decision. Anyways, we are done with Pigskin Pick'em. With that being said, welcome to Pigskin Payout. Gamble responsibly, unless you're taking our other picks that we've said on the show because we didn't preface it earlier, apparently. So, with that being said, my weekly 4 touchdown scorers include Jonathan Taylor, Rico Dowdle, James Cook, and Jackson Smith and Jigba.
yes, I like it. Yeah, we're going to be buying points here in terms of spreads and whatnot, but we'll get to the spreads here in a little bit. 4-legger, as always, for me. We're going to have the Steelers cover 3.5, so plus 3.5, so lose by less than a touchdown. Seahawks to cover minus 2.5, so win by more than a field goal. Rams money line and Colts money line. It's not a huge payout, but it's a comfortable one. That's plus 360. Put $5 down, win $23.02.
Matt?
I'm taking all in the 4 o'clock window. I'm gonna take Lions. All total over 28, so 27.5.
I like that.
Keeping at home. I'm gonna take Seattle 6.5. I think this defensive line can just make nightmares for Arizona. And then lastly, I'm gonna take the Niners plus 4.5. I like them getting that total at home. Again, I think they could win the game outright. I think they threw for almost 400 yards with Mac Jones last time. I get the Rams are going to make adjustments, but I like what this passing offense can do against the Rams passing defense. So that was, I think, like plus 500.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Like I said, gamble responsibly. Enjoy the games and the money that we will be gifting you. Because these parlays are all going to hit. None of our bets lose ever. So, Matt, any closing comments, and then swing it to Ben, and then we'll I don't know. How are we feeling after all of this? Post trade deadline.
Post trade deadline clarity. Pretty good. Pretty good. I think we got a good one, guys, didn't we? We had a good one, right? And I'm not talking about the deadline. I'm talking about the show. I thought everybody brought.
That's what I was gonna say. Don't post deadline me. This is post the Matt and Ryan incident teaming up against me.
Listen,
As you should,
something
though.
had to be done.
Strategically, it's something. I'm just too powerful. What can I say? I'm the Howie Roseman of the podcast.
How are we teaming against you? You picked against
you
me every
systematically,
time.
as you should, picking against me, and then Ryan really just writing every single possible pick. And I just foresee this Ryan digging himself.
What
into
can
a
I
deep
say?
Here,
I
and you
can't
just
pick games.
gaining ground.
Dude, I just looked at this. Ben and I did not disagree a single time. That's awesome.
I know.
You guys
It
picked all
makes
the
me want
favorites.
to get sick.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Sick.
Enjoy the week of the underdogs, ladies and gentlemen, because after the trade deadline, apparently even more chaos ensues. So, except for the Dolphins. Yeah, the Dolphins are awful. Don't ever
Not
bet
according to
money on the
Matt.
Dolphins. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning into the Pigskin Project. We want to thank Spotify for Podcasters, Regional Radio Sports Network, and Uppercuts Grooming for helping us grow as a podcast. And to our YouTube following, thank you so much for tuning in. And we appreciate all of the growth that you guys have been able to allow us to have. Thank you so much. And until next week, this has been the Pigskin Project.